Alright. I don't know if we should be streaming this, but we're going to anyway. Okay. Okay. Alright, so where are we at with core systems? Well, next thing I want to do is I want to take our input icons, because I've got a dark scheme here, but I'm going to duplicate the light scheme so that we get all the child objects, because the way our system works. Okay, so here's how the system works. Is input manager has two names for an input. It has like a kind of code name, like a unit, it's its own internal name, let's say, which works off, like for the keyboard specifically, it works off key codes, right, and assumes American keyboard layout. But you can also do something called like key by character name. So we changed the system to work on key by character name so that my British keyboard returns British icons. That one was missing actually. What is that character called? I would call it an apostrophe, but it's probably an official name. Let's ask Jibbity. Let's just ask Jibbity. It's just an apostrophe. Yeah, I would have called it apostrophe or a single quote. Well, we already have a single quote, which is this one. So I was kind of doing the same thing. Actually, okay, before we do the dark scheme, because I didn't want to finish this off and I didn't finish it off. I did it for the first set, but then I had to start again, so I lost them all. So I'm gonna start again. Okay, just give me a second. Let's delete the dark scheme for now. Let's go make sure this is finished before we copy it for a dark scheme. Now what I've been doing is every time I've created a new key, because where I got this sort of pack of input icons from, it didn't include every single key. So I've been going and adding the ones that were missing. And I've made sure to add the dark version as well. So there's one that's still missing, and this one's called the apostrophe. So I started putting friendly names in here, and I put them in square brackets. I don't know if that was a good idea or not. I think I want to continue that method. Okay, so tab would be tab in square brackets with spaces just to separate it out. This is an apostrophe. Is that how you spell it? Yeah, I thought it was. Wait, that's not apostrophe. So what's this one called? Single quote. Quote key light. So this one's just called quote then. And that's that one. See, there's three of these, right? So there's one next to the number one. There's one next to my semicolon. Actually, no, there's two. There's only those two. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so the one next to the semicolon I think is an apostrophe, because that's when you use it for apostrophes, right? The other one I don't really use it at all. Does anybody ever really use a single quote? If I was being honest, I would have used the apostrophe as a single quote as well, but I guess technically that's not correct. Anyway, I was just curious. So this one is the apostrophe next to semicolon on a British keyboard. I don't know where it is on American, and we don't have an icon for it because we haven't made one. Okay, so we need to get ourselves in Photoshop then. Model test characters. Is this my live project? Yes. We have scripts, core, UI, control prompts, keyboard and mouse, blanks. this is where I got my template, white, normal. So if we open that in Photoshop, we can make a graphic for this apostrophe. Let's just zoom in a bit. Okay, it's got a pink. That'll be the skin pink. I was messing about with character stuff last night. What size does this want to be? It wants to be nice and big. So that's our apostrophe, and it's at the bottom of the key, so I'm actually going to put it at the bottom of the key here as well. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. So I just grab that path. We don't want that view because it's kind of obnoxious. Go into details, and then I want this path here to be the save path. Oh no, I don't. I want to be in light for this one. PNG. So this one is apostrophe key light. Get rid of the I or the L, whatever it is afterwards. Okay. And I need a dark scheme version of that. So we should have a blank black normal. And I need to do the same thing with a white-ish version of the character. There we go. For the dark mode icon. So we save it in dark as apostrophe key dark dot PNG. Apostrophe key dark. Looks good to me. Then back in Unity we can assign apostrophe light in this situation and then enable that so we can see that that one is now included. We'll continue on. Escape. We could, yeah, I don't need to describe the key. I don't know whether I see, this is very inconsistent, which you know drives me crazy. But some keys don't need describing. Like I could, if I wanted to be consistent, I would type escape and then show what escape looks like. But that seems a bit redundant because like everybody knows that's the escape key, right? Well, maybe not everybody does, to be fair. But what would I type here? Space, space. Do you know what I mean? Then you're just repeating yourself. I don't know. We probably won't ever use these text fields anyway, but if we want the UI to return text, it would be nice to have the ability to do that. Okay, so this one's the comma. Comma, 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 comma. In the light scheme. This one's a period. I'm not going to make a joke about that. It's immature. I'm not that guy. Alright, this one's a slash. You can make a joke about that as well. This one's forward slash, but really it just typically gets called slash. It's only the backslash that gets the distinction normally. This one's a hash. This one is a left bracket. And because it's in a, because I've been putting the keys in brackets, I'm going to put them in parenthesis instead for the square brackets. Otherwise, you have two square brackets next to each other and it's confusing. I know what I'm doing. So right bracket, and we're going to put it in parenthesis so that it looks different. Minus tech tips equals up is cursor up, yeah, cursor up. I can't draw that, so I'm just going to type cursor up. Alright, thanks.
The other stuff's in the
Smash them. Alright, thank you.
Give me a shout before I go.
Okay, dokes. Okay, this one's cursor down. Cursor left. Cursor right. And then these are kind of pretty self-explanatory. A, B, C. I should have made my script do this, to be fair, for some of these, because then it would have saved me time, but it's fine. It's whatever. We spend the time now getting it, making it good, then this will stay with me in all future projects, so we might be glad that we took the time to do this. I honestly feel like this is one of those things where I'm putting a lot of time into it and it's probably something I'll never ever use. But, you know, whatever. For the 10 minutes it'll take me, I think I may as well just do it. L M N O. And the way I made these game objects, by the way, what I did is I basically iterated through all possible Unity supported inputs through the input system, and then I generated a game object for each input name so that we're not missing any, so that every possible input that Unity can possibly record, we have it in our system and we can put an icon for it. So we're not, none of this is guesswork. This is all directly ripped from Unity's input system, which is quite nice. My eyes are cloudy. Sign of madness. See, I told you. I warned you. That's not on me. That's on you for sticking around and watching the madness. All right, this is the number 1. Really? See how smart I am? This is the number 2. It's like being back in nursery. This is the number 3. We should do it like the count in Sesame Street. 4. I'm starting to look more like him every day. 5. 6. Imagine that being your job. 7. Imagine every time he gets paid, he's going through his salary and he's like, so this month I got 1,000, 200, and 30, He's like reading his taxes out. Oh my god, what's wrong with me? This is why I blame Sesame Street for and those stupid kids TV shows for the way I turned out. Sift, that's not called Sift. It's called Shift. And then there's Right Shift specifically. Oh my god, Right Alt. Are they part of the alt-right? Holy shit. Hitler was hiding in here all along. I knew it. I knew Unity was in bed. With Ben Shapiro. Left Windows. Left Windows, like there's a right Windows. I'm just going to call it Win. So I don't get sued by Microsoft. Right Windows. There is a fucking right. There's no right Windows. That would be menu, I think. Whatever. We'll just say what it is. If Unity recognizes it as right Windows, then we should probably mark it as right Windows, even though I have no idea what that would be. Because there is like a key that's like in the same place as Windows is on the other side of the keyboard, but that's always either a function key, especially on laptops and stuff. Application is probably the Windows key, to be fair. I was going to call it app, backspace, spatial, page down. I'm just going to type it out as page down. Page up. Page up. Learn keys with Corpium. Learn your keyboard with Cappy. Welcome. Today we're going to go through every single key on your keyboard. And we're going to type its name in square brackets. This stream is educational for the criminally insane. Yes. Caps lock. So if it's driving you insane, maybe you shouldn't be such a naughty boy and be a criminal. Do you ever think of that? Yes, you won't commit crimes anymore now after watching my stream, will you? No, no. Lo and behold, print screen. I haven't had a print screen key for God knows how long. Yeah, I can't remember the last time I had a print screen key, to be honest. 1980 or something. Scroll lock. I'm not that old. I mean, I am that old, but I wasn't using computers when I was 1. I was 8. Okay, scroll lock. Break. Break! Oh my god. I've seen a break key on the old BBC computers we used to use in school, but I've never seen a break key. Have I? Did we used to have a break key as well on a PC? I don't remember a break key. Numpad enter. Let me actually put numpad enter. Let's call it that. Numpad divide. Asterisk. Wasn't he like a red-haired Viking or something? Plus. Num decimal. Oh, I just realised I'm not live on Twitch. What the frick? I could have swore I pressed that button. I'm not live on Twitch. Okay, now I am. Sorry, Twitch. We've been live on YouTube for a while. I didn't realise I wasn't live. You haven't missed much. Okay, num decimal. Num decimal. Yeah, we could numpad decimal. A decimal. Numpad 1. Now you may be wondering what the hell. If you just tuned in, you might be like, what is this freak doing? What is this freak of a freak doing? Well, we're about to make a dark scheme for our not only is this a key, but like an input mapping system that lets players remap all of the controls, but it's also, I use this system for telegraphing to the player. So I've developed a system with this where we can basically define an action like what you see at the bottom here, right? You can define an action like left and right to cycle tabs. Oh, also, that's not correct, actually. That should be tab and shift tab. Yeah, and I'm not sure what to do about shift tab, actually, because it's actually technically 2 keys. So I need to look at that. Anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. You know, up and down, change selection, enter, confirm, escape, back, for example. So we can just define an action, and then when the player's in gamepad mode, it will show the gamepad controls instead of the keyboard controls, right? And also, if the player remaps any specific buttons for anything, it will show the correct button for that thing instead of what we set it up as. So like complete player customization and rebinding and telegraphing and stuff like that. It's pretty helpful. Now I decided for whatever reason that I was going to describe all of these keys and give them a friendly name. Don't ask me why. It just seemed like a good idea at the time. So before I duplicate all of this and make a dark scheme from it, I'm going to just kind of type their friendly names in so that if we ever want to return text instead of these icons, for example, depending on what we're making, then we have the ability to do that. So that is what is going on. That is the state of things. That's the state of my mind right now. You know, I'd much rather do this than numpad 0. I'd much rather do this than, I don't know, serve customers all day in some bullshit business, depending on what it is, I guess. I still probably rather do this. Right, F3. I mean, unless I was serving, like, I don't know, Snowbrick waifus, you know, their baby oil bottles or something like that, then, okay, maybe I'd make an exception. Maybe I'd rather do that. But outside of that, it's normally, you know, Sweaty Joe coming to return his laptop because his son spilt fucking Cheetos all over the fucking thing and it won't boot anymore. Do you know what I mean? It's that's how it normally goes. F10, F11, F12. Backslash. Should we just put backslash? Is backslash one word? I think backslash is one word. I'm making it one word. I put black slash. That's racist. You can't say that. You can't say that. I'm trying to get fucking cancelled by Twitter or what? Black slash. You can't say that. OEM. I don't know what the fuck that is. What the hell is an OEM 2 and an OEM 3 and an OEM 4? I don't know. We'll just put them in as OE. We'll just put them as they are because I don't even know what these are. So we'll just type their names and put them in square brackets, I guess. OEM 3. What else can I do? At least I'm not being racist anymore, so that's good. OEM 4. OEM 4. OEM 5. IME selected. I have no idea what that is. What the fuck is that? Okay, these are mouse now. These are mice now. So this would be a left click, a right click, middle click, forward and back buttons. Let's type it as forward button, back button. Okay, and the only thing I had to change yesterday was this keyboard and mouse. So if we check our PlayStations, these should already be filled in. Yeah, we've got left stick, right stick, L2, R2, D-pad, square, cross, circle, triangle, L1, R1, and similarly with the Xbox, because they have different names for these things, don't they? Because on Xbox it's left trigger, and then like LBRB and shit like that, right? So this is why this is here. Okay, I'm happy with that. It looks like we got all our icons now as well. We're not missing any. So every single input is accounted for. So every possible input that Unity Sports is now accounted for and has an icon and a friendly name associated with it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to copy the light scheme and we're going to rename it. We're going to call it the dark scheme. So you better get that blanket over here. You better get snuggled into your favourite little teddy waifu because it's about to get dark and scary, motherfuckers. Alright? Let's get ready for that. Okay. Now, I could just manually go in. And the key we want is probably the key above, if I did my job correctly. The key is probably above the one above the one that we've got it assigned to. But I wouldn't mind betting that I can write a script that'll do that for me, you know. Alright, let's ask Jippity and see if Jippity can help me with this. Okay. Okay, let's make sure that makes sense. I have a tree of game objects in Unity with input icons assigned named as follows. Key name input light.png. We should probably also tell it what the variable's called. So this is a texture 2D icon. Okay. I now want to make a dark scheme which has the same icon names but dark in place of light. These icons are already imported. Into my projects. Can I auto find the correct icons in my tree and save them in the editor for the new tree structure? Well, okay, let me rephrase that. Is there a script I can write to auto find the correct icons? Alright, there we go. Let's ask Jippity. Good morning, Jippity. How are you? Boom! Oh, bollocks, I hate this. I've got to pick now. Which Jippity do I want? I don't know. They're both pretty much the fucking same, to be honest. I prefer the cold, hard, girthy response like this one. I like this one more. It gets straight to the point. It's not as like, you know, yes. It seems less gaslighty to me. Well, it does waffle on a bit. I'll go with this one. Okay. So there we go. It says, to implement this in Unity, you can create the custom editor script that searches through your hierarchy, identifies the light themed icons and swaps them with the corresponding dark themed icons based on naming conventions. This script will work in the Unity editor and allow you to automate the process of switching from light to dark themed textures. Okay. Icon replacer. Tools replace light icons with dark. Alright, let's do it. Let's do it. So, do we have an edit? We do have an editor folder. Yeah, this isn't our first editor script, baby. Okay, let me just make sure we get the right name. Icon replacer. Alright, so we want a mono behavior. Icon replacer. There it is. We want the code from Jippity. Stick Jippity's bullshit in there. Alright, hit save. In our editor we should now see a menu appear. There it is. Replace light icons with dark. I'm a little worried about that because I want to keep my light theme. I don't want to lose my light theme, Jippity. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? No, it's gonna look through all game objects. No, I don't want you to do that. Okay. Find object of type game object. Okay, so we can see what it's doing here, right? It's going to iterate through an array. I don't know why it chose an array, but it did. It's going to iterate through an array of game objects in find objects of type all objects. Okay, so I'm going to need to spank Jippity now. And say no, this is not what we want. But I need to kind of tease it. I need to fondle its nipple just a little bit and get it all, you know, ready to go. You know what I'm saying. So what we'll do is we'll give it a little hint here. We'll just write what we want our root to be, right? So I'm gonna declare a transform, and I'm gonna call it dark theme root, and it's going to be game objects dot find, and we are running on core input icons, and then we've got light scheme and dark scheme dark scheme. And then we want that to be of type transform. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain to Jibbity that this is not what we want. Okay. Shit. Ah! Boo! Boo! E! Okay, it's fine. Since I still wish to keep my light theme intact, can we instead use the following transform and apply only to that? Please don't hurt my light theme. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's see what it says. Okay, since I still wish to keep my light theme intact, can we instead use the following transform and apply only to that? Yes, we can modify the script to target only the dark themed objects under the specific dark theme route without affecting your light theme. Here's the updated script based on your request. Okay. I could do all this myself, by the way. I'm just too lazy. Oh, good. Another piece of technology that makes us even lazier as a species. What could possibly go wrong? Okay, so do we still get the menu? Yes. Okay, do I trust it? Okay, let me make sure it's doing what I want it to do. So what we're doing is we're turning light into dark. So what this really is a Genshin boycott resolver. Because they wanted everything to be darker, didn't they? So that's basically what this does. So this is actually a Genshin boycott resolver. Also, I thought that was hilarious, by the way. If you look at this month's or last month's Sensory Tower, Genshin Impact is one of the highest grossing gacha games, specifically from global, by the way. So all the people who were meant to be boycotting Genshin because the characters aren't dark enough actually spent way more money than China this month, which I thought was fucking hilarious. Not as much as those horny girls playing that space husbando game. Have you seen how much money they're spending? Holy shit. They are spending so much money. I need to make a Sausage Factory game. That's what I need to make. Maybe that's what I could call my development company, Sausage Factory Incorporated. I'd make so much money. Okay. Maybe waifus are out. Maybe waifus are obsolete. Maybe it's all about the husbandos now. You know, maybe like I think the waifus might have that economy might have burst, you know, that bubble might have burst. Okay, so let's make sure. I want to save this and make sure. This could go horribly wrong, by the way. Yeah, what do I do? It should be fine though, isn't it? Let me just check, make sure. Core. Okay, dark theme roots. Okay, I trust it. I trust it. Okay, Genshin boycott resolver. Let's go. Make it all dark. Null reference. What? It couldn't find core. Oh, it's under DB. That's why. There we go. It's under Debbie. Has to go through Debbie. Debbie's my. Yeah, Debbie. I should call that Debbie. That would be so funny. Debbie's my personal assistant, so they have to go through Debbie. Icon replacement for dark theme completed. Let's see about that, shall we? Let's test it. So we've got our black key normal. Wait, is it dark or is it black? Oh, hang on. It might have been black. Oh, shit. No, these are all still light. Twitter will be so mad. I'm getting cancelled by Twitter. These keys are still too light. Yeah.
5 minutes to get spruced up a bit and then I'm going to go back.
Right.
See how I'm doing.
Alright.
When I get along, probably about 4.
Alright. Let me check. I may have lied in my request. So they're under a dark folder. No, they do have the word dark. They do have the word dark in place of the word light. So that didn't work at all, did it? God damn it, Jibbity! It's going to replace underscore light with underscore dark. That looks right to me. Dark icon not found. It should also be saying dark icon not found. Oh, you know what it probably is? I think I know why. Okay. Okay. It seems to have not worked, but perhaps because I didn't explain the hierarchy well. Dark root has empty game objects KBM PlayStation Xbox. Where the input schemes icons live. Can we include these subfolders and make this recursive instead? There we go. Okay, it seems to have not worked, but perhaps because I didn't explain the hierarchy well. Dark root has empty game objects KBM PlayStation Xbox where the input schemes icons live. Can we include these subfolders and make this recursive instead? I see. Since your hierarchy has nested subfolders, we need to make the search recursive so that it also processes the child game objects. Indeed we do. Indeedly do. Shut up. Alright. Wow. This is what I do all day. Genshin boycott resolver. Genshin boycott resolver. There we go. So a dark theme route has to go through Debbie, which we didn't also mention that to Jibbity, so it doesn't know. So make sure it goes through Debbie. And it should tell us if it can't find icons for specific. That's actually really useful as well, by the way, because we can just go and fix those ones manually. Because I don't expect it to get every single one of these right. So let's just pop this out a second so that we can see its output when we do this. Alright, Genshin boycott resolver, let's go! That's a bit... There's no way it got every single one. It still didn't work. What the fuck, dude? What the hell, dude? Why are you gaslighting me, Jibbity? What the fuck is wrong with you? Core DB input icons dark scheme. I should have said theme, really. I don't like scheme. It's not really a scheme, because scheme is like the input scheme, which is like what device are you using. It's really a theme, otherwise I'll get confused. So we'll rename it to theme. Okay, so we've got light theme and dark theme. Theme. Is it because it has to end in dark? It does end in dark though. Show me the fucking folder, Windows. What are you doing? Show it to me now. Don't you hide that from me. Okay. It does end in dark. It ends in key dark. It's still not working. Okay, what I'm going to do... We're going to go into control... Also, it thinks it's loading these. Yeah, no, I know why. It's trying to load these from resources. These aren't in resources. Okay, it's confused. It's very confused. Okay, let me just help it. It's very confused right now. I could have done it manually by now. That's the worst part. Okay. Yeah, I don't care. Like, a lot of this stuff I don't care about. Google Stadia. Are you kidding me? Keyboard and mouse. Blanks, dark, light. PS4, PS5. Did I not copy the light and dark schemes from PS4? Or are they just in those folders anywhere? I was sure there was a dark scheme for PS4. Maybe I only kept the light scheme. Oh, hang on a minute. Hang on, because I have some personal files in my Dropbox. These are also in my Dropbox. Control prompts, there it is. So this is where I've stashed them for years now. PS4. Oh no, what it is? No, I remember. Okay, so basically I use the PS5 as the light scheme. I'm gonna have to do this manually, I think, because it's too weird. I plan on using the PS5 as the light scheme and the PS4 as the dark scheme, because there isn't a specific light and dark scheme. But if you look at the PS5 prompts, they are lighter than the PS4 scheme. So I plan on just using the PS5 icons for light scheme. Xbox, there's only one scheme anywhere, so we'll just have to use the same one. Unless, yeah, Series X doesn't really look any different, to be honest. But keyboard has light and dark schemes, which is the main one I wanted to do it on. Oh, you know what? I think I'm just going to do it manually. We're going to be here all day otherwise. I could explain it to ChatGPT and we could probably get it to work, but honestly, I feel like at this point, the amount of time it's going to take just to do all that, it'd probably be quicker just to do it all manually, honestly. The whole point was to save me time, but I don't think it's going to save me time. Okay, so we'll delete that editor script. We don't need it anymore. I'm just going to do it manually. Alright, so any key is now black. We already did that one. And every one of these keys should pretty much be the option above. Space dark. Enter dark. It's going to be quicker just to do it this way, honestly. Quote dark, apostrophe dark. But I know the reason it wasn't working, by the way. The reason it wasn't working is ChatGPT assumed that I was loading these icons from my resources folder. I don't know why. I guess I could have implicitly said that, by the way, these are like this is from our asset library, our actual project's assets. I thought I kind of did, but I guess it just assumed for whatever reason that I was loading these from resources, because that is indeed one way to do it, right? That's probably what the majority of people do, but I'm not doing it that way because it's just not the way I want to do it. So it's going to take a little while, but it's probably going to take less time than it would getting that script to work, to be honest. And now you know why I keep my inspector near my hierarchy. The default is to have the inspector over here. Unity puts the inspector over here by default. But that never made sense to me because I'm like, well, you're always doing the fucking same things, right? Over on... You want less space, especially if you have like a super wide screen. Imagine how far your mouse would have to go. Like, it makes sense to have these things next to each other because you're either dragging and dropping or you're doing this. You're doing a lot of clicking in the same place. So, like, it makes more sense to me to have these things next to each other. So my first tip for anyone getting into Unity is to drag your hierarchy window, your inspector window, next to your hierarchy window, because it will save you so much time. And I don't know why that's not the default, to be completely honest. Because obviously when you do this hundreds of times like I'm doing now, you know, that extra distance that you're dragging your mouse adds up. It really does. Actually, what we could do is just press cursor up. It might be quicker to press cursor up and then enter. Yeah, that's even quicker. Yeah, cursor up and enter is even quicker. That we figure out when we get down to the end of the list. Yeah, Zero Dark. Sounds like a good game title, that, doesn't it? Zero Dark. There's probably a game called Zero Dark, I would think. I think there's a perfect Zero Dark. Could be wrong. Or maybe it's Perfect Dark. I don't freaking know. I just think Zero Dark sounds like a cool title for a game. Zero Dark. Thank God I only have to do this once and then I've got it forever. You know? Okay, we haven't noticed any problems yet. They're all there where they're supposed to be, so I've done a good job. Holy shit, we're still not done. Yeah, we have like repeat icons, so like the numbers across the top of your keyboard return the same icons as the numbers from your numpad, but Unity reads those as different keys because they are different keys, but at the end of the day they still return, you know what I mean, we still want to return the same icon. I mean, we could have maybe tried to make the icons look slightly different for the numpad, you know, but I didn't. Because it's a difficult problem to solve, right? Because the sensible way to make the top rows distinctive from the numpad, I guess you could put the numbers at the bottom because that's where the numbers are. You can't put the symbols above them because the symbols above them is different. It's formatted slightly differently, but it's just there. I don't know what these are, so I'm just going to return blank keys because I don't know what else to do. I should highlight that so we can get them all in. There we go. I should have done that one as well. Fuck. Okay, this is the last key. Thank God. Last key. Okay, then we've got mouse click. Do we have a dark scheme mouse? Looks like it because that one. Yeah, we do. Oh, cool. Got dark scheme mice. Okay, that's nice. I don't have icons for forward and backwards buttons because I have no one I would show there. I don't even know if would anyone ever really map those. Maybe they would. I don't know. I don't really know how to solve that. Has anybody ever solved that? Can we show? How would you show forward, back, buttons, mouse, icon? Has anybody tried to address that? Okay, so somebody's. Yeah, that might work. Somebody's done it where they've drawn it like a mouse and then they've put an arrow next to the mouse on each side. We could do that. We could make a light and a dark one of those and nick them. So we've got something in there. But yeah, this is what it normally looks like, right? They're normally like next to each other on the same side of the mouse. But I think that kind of makes sense. Do you know what I mean? As an icon. Because it's kind of like saying backwards and forwards. So whoever came up with this, I think, is quite smart. Because that kind of... I think that makes sense, actually. I'm going to nick these. I'm going to nick these. I think this makes sense. Yeah, I don't like having an icon for everything except those. Because they are valid inputs. So I would like to include them. So yeah, I like these. What we'll do is we'll crop that. And then do they need to be square? Not really. Right, the first thing I need to do is remove the background. And okay, the next thing I need to do is make a copy, and then what we do is we figure out how big that needs to be. Hang on a minute. Okay, let's figure out how big it needs to be. There's some artifacts in there, I think. Yeah, there's some slight artifacting there. So we also need to clean that up. Here's a tip that I figured out when I did Hungry Paimon. Sorry, not Hungry Paimon, Paimon Romper. Check it out. This is a really cool trick in Photoshop, by the way. If you want to see artifacts that the eye can't see, add a stroke to your object. Because the stroke will show you, it draws outlines around everything, right? So the stroke will show you where the artifacts are. I back now. My class just finished a moment ago. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah, so if you're in Photoshop and you want to see the artifacts that are going to make things look awful in Unity, just add a stroke to it and it shows you where all the shit is. So then you can go and get your eraser and take the shit out. And neaten it up and see what you're doing, you know, without ruining the image. So this is a really cool trick. So I'm just going to neaten that up. And there's a little bit around here. Yeah, because things get kind of butchered on the internet, you know. By the time an image gets converted like 46 times or whatever, you end up with this kind of mess. There we go. So now we know that's neat, right? So then you can just go in and turn off the stroke, and you're only left with what you actually want. So I'm going to invert that, and I'm just going to grow it a little bit, just to give it a little bit of a border. 6 will do, and I'm going to crop it. So there's our black icon. So that would be our dark theme icon, right, for mouse back. Okay. But that's in keyboard. Oh, it's keyboard and mouse. Yeah, it is keyboard and mouse. So I'm going to call this mouse. It's under the dark folder already. Mouse back icon. We do say whether they're dark or not anyway, though, don't we? They don't say icon. They just say whether they're light or dark. So this one's mouse back dark. Okay, then we can invert that image and save it. Ooh, haha! Look at that! It had Adobe stock on it. Ah! That's hilarious. Ah! I almost got sued by Adobe. Oh my god! Get rid of that quick. Shh. Shh. It's not Adobe. Anyway, Adobe fucking steals everybody else's work, don't they? Isn't that what all the hoopla is about right now? So fuck you, Adobe. I'll steal your shit. You steal everybody else's. Okay. Let's try and get rid of the watermark a little bit. Alright, there's our light version. So we'll go into the light folder. So this is mouse back light, and then we'll invert it again because it had watermarks on it before. Let's go back in and overwrite our dark version, which should be our latest file save. There it is. Boop. Boop. So we can go and assign that in Unity. So our oh, we can't because we're on forward first, so we need to do our forward. So we'll go to our other image and grab our forward. So we want to crop that one. It's probably got watermarks. Yeah, I can see the watermarks now, actually. I couldn't see them before, but now that I know they're there, so weird. That's what kind of what I'm like. Like, I have the observation skills of a rock, but then once I realize something's there, it's like I see it every time. But until I realize it's there, I can play a game for like months and months and months and months, and somebody will be like, oh yeah, it's, you know, there's an icon up there that tells you this or whatever, and I'll be like, did they just add that? No, it's been there the whole time. And I'm like, I don't remember ever seeing that. It's like, it's so weird. I'm so weird. I'm kind of like that. This one looks neater, right? I don't see any artifacts really. There's a little bit there. Well, again, we can do our trick right, just to make sure. So we'll do, oh yeah, we have got some shite. We have got some shite. So let's clean the shite. Clean the shite. Clean the shite. It's just kind of weird though, isn't it? Because like the odds of somebody using their forward and back button on their mouse, I don't know, they might do. If you play with keyboard and mouse, I imagine that's a really nice function to be able to use your forward and back buttons in game. So I'm glad to offer it to my players, but I've got to wonder if anybody's ever actually going to use it, and if all of this work is actually going to mean anything. But you know, at least they can, right? Okay, so we're going to rinse and repeat. We're going to do the same thing we did last time. We've selected what is there. I'm going to expand it by 6 pixels. I'm going to crop that image, and we need to get rid of the watermark. You can see the watermark better in the white version. There we go. We need to get rid of that watermark. so we don't get sued. I like the way it's like as if like as if deleting the watermark actually makes a blind bit of difference. It's just like if you're gonna steal stuff, right? At least take the watermark off it, right? But yeah, I'm just imagining a future court case where Adobe's like, I'm like, I didn't use your stock footage. What are you talking about? If you look at my files, there's no watermark on it. If I stole your if I stole your image, there'd be a watermark on it. And Adobe are like, on the 2nd of October, 2024, you live streamed removing the watermarks. Exhibit A, Judge, Your Honor, please play this clip. Right, okay. I guess I can't deny any longer. Yeah, I probably shouldn't stream removing the watermarks, but hey, whatever, right? It's fine. So we got what is this? Mouse forward. Did I call the last one mouse back? I think I did. Let's just find out because I want to use the same convention. Yeah, I did. That's perfect then. Mouse forward light would be this one. I'm not sure about the black. What's the blackness down here? That's probably part of the original watermark, isn't it? I should probably get rid of that, shouldn't I? Meh. Close enough. Again, like the fucking odds of somebody ever seeing this icon. First of all, you've got to be a keyboard and mouse user. Well, first of all, you've got to be somebody who actually plays one of my games. That's a grand total world population of about 2 people at most, probably. Then second of all, you've got to be a keyboard and mouse user. So that narrows those 2 people down even further. And then third of all, you've got to be fucked up enough to actually want to map the forward or backwards mouse buttons to a specific function in-game before you would even see this icon. Or you're a data miner who's gone through every single one of my assets. So, like, the odds that anyone will even see this icon, other than me when I'm testing it, is probably less than 0.1%. Anyway, whatever. Never let it be said that I take shortcuts or cut corners with these things. So yes, Your Honor, use this live stream clip to show the courts that I do not cut corners. I may thieve Adobe stock footage, guilty as charged, but I'm offering my players the most complete experience that they never ever asked for. Okay, so this one is mouse forward dark. Whee! Alright, we've got them. So, we're in dark theme. We want mouse forward. We're on dark theme. We want mouse back. Okay, then go back to our light theme. And do the same, right? Mouse forward light. Mouse forward. No, backwards light. Yes. Done! Oh shit, Adobe's after me. Fuck. Adobe's on the way. The Adobe police are here. Ah! Adobe Cloud, open up! Okay, PlayStation, we said we were gonna change these to the PS5 counterparts, didn't we? So we want PS5 left stick. Yeah, the weird thing about that, right, is that they don't really look any different. Not really, not much. I'll do it anyway. PS5 right stick. The buttons do, like the, you know, the triangle face buttons, I think they're called. They do look different, but the triggers and all the other ones kind of look the same, to be honest. But we'll change them anyway. In for a penny. In for a cajillion quid. That's what I always say. Right, left trigger. Where are you? PS5 left trigger. Left trigger. I can't see you, PS5 left trigger. Where the fuck are you? Oh, in PS5 you're called L1 and L2. So you're L2. Yes. Right trigger is PS5 R2. Yes. PS5 D-pad. Oh, Houston, we may have a problem. Oh no, they are actually assigned. Oh, that's good. And then button west is PS5 square. Button south is PS5 cross. Button east is PS5 circle. Button north is PS5 triangle. L1, PS5 L1. PS5 R1. It's like a dentist. You know, he reads all your teeth out. PS5 R1, corrupt. Left trigger button, cavity. Left trigger button. Left. What the fuck is left trigger button? Oh yeah, this is something that I haven't assigned these, and the reason why is because I'm going to turn these off so I can see I haven't assigned them. So I don't own those buttons, but I think these are like Pro Controller things. Fucking hell. Oh, what a stretch. Oh, fuck. Oh, I needed that though. I really did. Yeah, so basically, I think they added extra buttons on the Pro Controller, so you have like 2 extra buttons near your triggers or whatever. But because I don't own one of these controllers, and I've never seen one in my life, like it's difficult for me to test. But they are valid inputs that Unity can accept. But I don't even know where to start in terms of icons for them. But yeah, I guess, again, it's like they're valid inputs, right? Just because I don't own them doesn't mean I shouldn't. Add icons for them at some point. I can't think about that right now though. Okay, select. Do we have PlayStation share button? Yeah, that's the share button, isn't it? Do we have a share button? Yeah, we got PS5 share. Did we not assign that on the light theme? We didn't. We've got an icon for that. Oops. There we go. It's in now. Did we not do start either? We didn't do start either. What the fuck is wrong with me? Oh, we got no PS4 start. Well, what do they call it then? Is it options? Where's my controller? It might be options. What about on PS5? PS5 options, yeah. There's options and options alt. I'll go with that one. L3. I feel like these were never assigned. That's these. We've got icons for these as well. There's your left stick press. There's your right stick press. I need to do the same for light theme as well. I've been slacking me. What about these last ones? System button. What the fuck's a system button? Oh, that's the PlayStation button, isn't it? Yeah, we don't have icons for those. And this is where it gets a little tricky, right? Because, like, am I allowed to show a PlayStation button without some kind of fucking license or copyright or, you know what I mean, whatever? I don't fucking know. But then, like, I don't know, am I even allowed to show the fucking triangle, circle, square and X without some kind of fucking license? You know how crazy the fucking world is. Like, I have to, at the end of the day, if I'm making a game, I still have to fucking show the controls. So, like, what do you fucking want from me? What I might do then to solve this problem, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy, actually this is in, yeah, that's the folder where they all came from. I need the folder that I'm working from, which is this one. Okay, check it out. Here's what I'm going to do to solve this problem. I'm going to grab one of these buttons, these face buttons, and I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to call it, for this one, PS5 system. I'm going to edit it. But just to keep myself safe, I'm not going to put the PlayStation logo on it, even though that's what it looks like, because I think the PlayStation logo is like a registered trademark or whatever. But if it's called the system button, I'll probably just put SYS. So I'm going to grab this. But again, would you even map that button, right? Because, like, if you're playing on console, you can't use that button in a game. That button takes you back to the dashboard or whatever, the XBMC, whatever the fucking hell they call it. Cross Media Bar is what they used to call it. I think they renamed it recently, but whatever. Like, so that's an unmappable button on the console itself. Because PlayStation themselves use it for the Cross Media Bar, or whatever that's now called. But Unity lets you map it and use it. So if you're playing on PC with a PlayStation controller, if Unity lets you map it, then I'm letting you map it. But I'm not going to put the PlayStation logo on it just in case. Because I feel like that's like a fucking lawsuit waiting to happen or something, if I ever do get successful in the future. So we'll just call it PS5 system. For the dark theme, can we not just invert the whole thing? good enough. Again, the odds of anyone ever seeing it or actually mapping it or using it is probably fucking like slim to none, to be completely honest. God, that looks like an interface in Neo Automata. So we'll stick this one in PS4 and call it PS4 system, I guess. Okay, so we want PS5 system for light. Oh shit, you know what I just realised? Yeah, I'm putting PS4 controls under the dark scheme. And PS5 under the lights. Hang on. The other way around. But the PS5 looks more like a light scheme than a dark scheme. If that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Because the weird thing is, right, I have my preferences with these, and I prefer the keyboard light scheme and the PlayStation dark scheme because they look... How do I put this? Because they look more conventional, right? Like, most keys are light, right? You can have dark keyboards, sure. I suppose that it depends what colour your fucking keyboard is, doesn't it? But I don't know, I just... I don't know, as icons, it just makes more sense to me that keys are light. They look less like buttons and more like keys to me when I look at those. But PlayStation buttons... But again, it depends what you're used to, right? I guess most of my controllers have been black. Because I always get the black controllers because they're always cheapest, and that's just the default, right? But I do have like a PlayStation 4 white controller and the buttons are different colours. But I guess it's just like, I don't know. It's just, they're more colourful as well. So we're using PS5 for dark scheme and PS4 for light scheme. That's just fucking weird. Because that's kind of backwards, right? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I need to change that or not. I don't know. So we start with up. You can barely see these. You can barely see which one is highlighted. I made the dark theme ones myself. Hello, I see Miku. I subscribe. That is a man of culture. That is pure taste right there. Pure taste, pure culture. I respect it. Alright, PS5 left. And PS5 right. Yeah, you can't see these very well though, right? You can barely see which one's lit up. I don't know if I need to edit these, you know. I don't like how subtle they are. You can barely see which one is the one it's talking about. Maybe you can. We'll see. If it causes problems, then I can always edit them. It's probably fine. Alright, so let's just run it. So we should now have light scheme, dark scheme. Yeah, and it's probably not going to find anything now, is it? Oh, no, it will, because they're still linked in the inspector. Yeah, okay, so we've got our keyboard. If I turn the controller on, we get a null reference exception. Okay. Oh, I know why. No, I don't. Wait, don't tell me gamepad control names are different. It's saying it can't find get action icon for action object get component action object dot action. Oh my god, what are you saying to me? Line 92 in control. Okay. Return text equals set root dot transform dot find child name dot get component control image dot icon. No. Okay, I think I know why. I think I know why. So back when we were using this, it was working, but we had to change it to this. Where is that? Because of UK keyboard layouts, because of international keyboard layouts, basically. So I think what I would need to do is, okay, what I need to do is this. This is KVM. Bah! And what we were using before is everything else. Now, why doesn't it like that? Because of that. Okay, let's try it now. Because it was only a problem with keyboard, not with gamepads. Fixed it. There we go. Ah! What? Yeah, I need a better way of catching exceptions. So something, as we rapidly switch from input schemes and back again, something in our current setup is returning a null icon. It's happening in control at line 103, which is this one. Okay, let's put that debug message back in and see if we can find out which one it is. Let's just clear that. Okay, let's just fuck it up. There it is. Okay, let's find out where it went wrong. So it's going through and it's getting all the icons and it's quite happy until it tries to get circle of all things. And then in circle it says, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. What the fuck is a circle? Interesting. But what's weird about that I was gonna say what's weird about that is we don't use circle, but we do here. But it does display it correctly. Well, that's fucking weird. It also isn't happy with R1. Wait a minute. Because when did I only do it? Did I only apply the new naming scheme to KBM? I think I did. So then why is it trying to look for D-pad up? Okay, let me think about this. I think the reason might be why. The reason why might be because the scheme is being switched so rapidly that we're looking under the keyboard naming convention for gamepad controls because the scheme is still registered as being keyboard and mouse. No, but if that was the case, we wouldn't be looking under... I don't think there's any way to look under the wrong scheme like that. Because that's also used as the driver for the icons. Let me think about this. Because what we do is we send an action to that function, which is here, right? We send an input action to the function of get action icon, and then this thing looks at the current scheme and figures out which icon it should return based on which input is set using this tree structure. So given that it's using scheme as a driver anyway, I can't see how scheme could be being read wrong. And if we're changing the naming convention based off of scheme here, it should be looking under the right naming convention name structure. So what does it look for if everything is display name? Let's have a look at this. So everything's good under keyboard and mouse, and then we swap to controller, and immediately we start getting null references up the wazoo. Okay, it's looking for capital S square, capital C circle, capital R1. Yeah, these are not the correct naming conventions. It won't find them under those. So it definitely wants to be looking under name instead of display name if the scheme is anything other than keyboard and mouse. So our logic is correct. Yeah, because when I replaced the keyboard icon tree, I only generated new keyboard icons. I didn't touch the gamepad ones because they were fine. What the fuck is going on? Okay, that's definitely better because it's like null referencing less, but something's still tripping it up. But also, look, it's looking under the wrong naming scheme. Unless I'm supposed to be using .2 lower. No, because these have capitals in them, so these aren't all lowercase anywhere. I don't know where these names are coming from. what I need to know is whether the keyboard and mouse scheme was applied and this switcher function was working correctly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a bool called scheme fix, which I'll set to false. And if the scheme fix here is being enabled, we'll set scheme fix to true. And then I want to know in my debug.log whether scheme fix was applied or not. Okay, let's find out. Because it's almost like it's not being applied. But I don't know why. Okay. If I'm gentle with it... Okay, if I'm gentle with it... It's fine. If I start being a complete fucking muppet and I spam it and rapidly switch control schemes, it gets really confused. Now this is like black box testing, right? Not white box testing. So white box testing, it's working exactly the way it's supposed to. But if I black box the fuck out of it, so if I act like a toddler's gotten hold of the controller or whatever, right, then it starts to fucking fall apart. I mean, it's probably, if I ignored this console though, it would probably still function. Like, you've got to expect it to flash between control schemes if you're being a prick and you're like forcing it between two states. So we could live with this. It's not like game breaking or anything, but I'm just wondering, why is that not... Why is that not 100%, you know? Yeah, that's what I thought. So scheme fix... The scheme fix is coming back false when that happens. That's what I thought was happening. So the new scheme fix application. So if we treat it gently, if we treat it like a lady, right? And we switch to it, it's fine. And you'll see that the scheme fix is true. In both cases there, it became true until I moved the mouse and then it became false, which is correct, right? So, yeah, like I say, white box testing is working fine. But for some reason, if I rapidly switch from keyboard and mouse over to gamepad and back again, like I sort of bounce between the two quickly, the thing gets very confused. And the scheme fix isn't being applied correctly. Which just means there's a slight discrepancy between the scheme return value from one end of the code to the other end of the code. So to make this more robust, we'd need to make sure that that's updated and correct. So our root is set here. I'm curious if the root is also incorrect then. Let's find out what our root is when that happens. Again, this is like white box, this is fine. I could leave this bug in and it would be fine. Nothing would really matter. But it's always best to try and make things as robust as possible. And I'm just curious why it's happening. I mean, I kind of know why it's happening, but I don't know where and how it's happening. It's a discrepancy between the return value of the current scheme from the top end of the code down to the bottom end of the code, which suggests that the input system is running in its own separate thread. and has independence over our control scripts. I suppose it would have to, I guess. But that makes it a little bit trickier to work with as well, because we can't rely on values staying reliable throughout our functions. Okay, one way we could fix it. Okay, I know how to fix this. I'll just put that to one side. So what we could do is we could just take in a scheme as an input. So if we do, we can take it as a string actually. I'm going to call it control scheme. Set it here. Okay, let's see if this fixes it. And then when we call that function, what we basically do is we send system control scheme to the function when we call it. That way the scheme should be, the scheme that we act upon should be the same at the top of the code and the bottom of the code. So if the scene, if the actual input scheme changes its scheme during that process, we just ignore it, because we were told which scheme to load beforehand essentially. So we run off that instead. And I think that'll make it more robust. Tiny little nitpick, but it will make it more robust, 100%. Yeah, I don't really care about root actually now. Alright, let's see if that works. So we're going to start by being gentle with it. White box test it. So we're in keyboard and mouse. We go over to controller. It's on controller. Keyboard and mouse. Controller. It's still happening. We start being a prick and we bounce between the two and we get the same problem. Interesting. That didn't solve the problem. Yeah, looking for circle under scheme fix false. Interesting. Interesting. So that didn't do anything for it at all. Shut up. Okay, so I'm going to remove that, because if it didn't help, there's no point in making the function more irritating to use and taking in one extra variable if it didn't actually solve the problem that it was meant to solve in the first place. So I'm going to put it back the way it was. Okay, so instead then what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to do a sanity check. So instead what we do, so we know that what's happening is by the time we get down to here, if our scheme, this is so weak because we literally ask it directly above. This is so weird. I wonder if we can call out to a coroutine in here. Fix scheme mismatch. It doesn't make any sense though. It's because it's being changed back. Like it's one variable, right? It's almost suggests that it's rapidly changing so quickly that by even from this line here down to this line here, it's being changed. But that doesn't make any sense unless there was multiple instances of this being run. Are we calling the UI... Wait a minute. Are we calling the UI change on a frame-by-frame basis? Icon retrieval function called. How's your project going so far? Hello, Pika. It's fine. I just got a little niggle debug that I want to fix. It's not even game breaking or anything, but it's just irritating me. Wait, what the fuck? Icon retrieval function called. So we do west, south, north, south, 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 east shoulder. We do seem to be making a lot of repeat requests to the icon retrieval service. That seems like it's more than what we should be making. Oh, you know what else it could be? It could be our telegraphing system. It could be the way that I set this up. Hang on a minute. Where did I put that? Controls canvas. That's that one. Input icons. Background text controls, UI controls, control tips footer. Control tips footer. Yeah, we shouldn't have this. Okay, maybe we should actually have that there. Ah, there we go. It's on our controls canvas. It's like, okay, it's like our tips, our control tips. It's like our control tips is not as up to date as it should be about which scheme we're currently on. Yeah, now we started getting null reference exceptions. Yeah, it's 100% the control tips function. So it's not happening on a request by request basis. It's happening in this real-time updater, which is telling the player which actions do which, are supported by which inputs. Which inputs perform which actions is probably a better way of saying it. Okay, so let's see the code for that and see if we can figure out why that might be. So that's this script here. I made a UI control icon class. Oh, Wuthering Waves again. You tried out its new door event, and it's a mixture of the random echo event and the normal door event. It's dull as fuck. That game is so dull. That's why I installed it. I just can't be arsed with it anymore. I haven't got enough time. I haven't got time to play games that I'm not enjoying. Life's too short. Okay, so bool is mouse equals false. Public string action name. System last scheme scheme. We only run the update if the scheme, if system control is ready, meaning system control has fully initialized and the scheme is not blank. Why would the scheme be blank? I guess if input manager hadn't fully initialized, perhaps. If is mouse, how do we know if it's mouse? If system control scheme is keyboard and mouse, if action name is tab left, if system control scheme equals keyboard and mouse, input action system control input assets, find action mod shift, texture 2D get icon equals system control get action icon icon. Action get component raw image dot texture equals get icon. else input action action sys control input ask find action tab left. Texture 2D get icon is system control get action icon action. Get component raw image texture equals get icon. The else is from if it's not tab left. So that should be where we're falling. We should be falling here. When it seems to trip on circle, input action is system control input assets find action name. Where's it getting action name from? Texture 2D texture 2D get icon. Oh, action name. Okay, action name is a field on this control, I think. Action name is cancel. Okay, is mouse is also set in the inspector. Okay, yeah, we basically determine whether it's a mouse icon or not. Okay. But wait. Is mouse means that we don't need to return an icon for it, I guess, but why the fuck would we have... Oh, no. I remember what that's for. Okay, because keyboard and mouse, the way I set it up is keyboard and mouse gives you the two options. You can either navigate with the keyboard or you can navigate and click with the mouse. So as helper text, I decided to include an instruction that lets the player know that they can click with the mouse. That would mean that I would tick is mouse, which basically says when we switch control pads to gamepad, we hide this control from the player completely because there isn't a gamepad equivalent to this. Essentially, that's what that's for. Action name is just the action name that's mapped into the input actions map. Okay, I see the problem straight away. The problem is that we're using an internal variable of stored memory to inherit the scheme from system control scheme, but as a shorthand. The problem with that is it's not always going to be 100% accurate. It could be different. Like when it was at the start of this process, it may be different to what it is now. Whereas if we read it directly from system control, it's always going to be up to date and it's always going to line up with what system control currently says. So I think that should fix it. I think. I hope. No, it didn't. That's so weird. This time it did it on a keyboard function. It only fails on a black box test. It's fine white boxed. I'm surprised that changing it so that we accept the scheme as an input to the function itself. I'm surprised that didn't fix it. Because then it's essentially like we're saying, okay, whatever the current scheme was when we started making these requests, grab the icons for that scheme rather than whatever the input manager says the current scheme is. Because otherwise, if the input scheme switches mid-function, whilst the previous set of icons are still being retrieved, which is what's causing this issue, well, then you're just going to continue under the old scheme anyway, because all the requests would be made under the old scheme. But I guess because we do it... This is really hard to imagine... This is really hard to sort of stack trace in your head. Because we have all these little subcomponents that are making those individual requests, as in the bottom of this tab bar. So these are all child components making the requests independently. And then we have an iterative loop, but that's not where the code's going wrong. That's also interesting. Within the iterative loop, the code, the function returns correctly no matter how quickly we shift schemes. It's only when the child components are making their requests individually that it all falls apart. I don't understand. It's like the request is already out of date by the time we make it. This is a real problem. It's not really a real problem. It's like I could completely ignore it and everything would be fine. But I genuinely just, I want to fix it. Okay, I'm curious, what happens if we take... What happens if we take that if statement out? So we just update it regardless on every single frame. It still happens. God damn it, that's annoying. Huh. You fucking twat. Okay, the best way to fix this... Okay, is what it is. Okay, so the best way to fix this is to make sure they all use the same naming scheme. And then I don't think it'll be a problem. So we need to use display name. We need to use display name for all of the controls, and we just need to make a new tree for the gamepad things. And we don't need that anymore. That doesn't exist anymore. Take that out. Take that out. Active control display name. Okay, so back in our tools. We don't even need this anymore. Yeah, so here's the problem. I was using display name. Only for keyboard. I need to use display name on all of them. Okay. So I'm going to run this. There's all our controls. Our keyboard should now be correct. So I need to grab PlayStation all the way down to the end of Xbox. I need to copy those objects, go into my input database. Fucking light theme, dark theme. I have to do all these again. Motherfucker. Okay, let me just back these up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a duplicate of that, and I'm going to call this one old, just in case I need it back. So they're our old icons, and these are our new ones. So I need to get rid of PlayStation and Xbox on both light theme and dark theme. And I need to paste those controls in. So I've got PlayStation belongs to PlayStation. Xbox, not that, belongs to Xbox. Dark theme, I now need PlayStation and Xbox duplicating and moving into dark theme. Okay. And I've got to reassign all of these. Oh my god, I'm so tired. Oh, my poor body. Oh, I just want some sleep. If I was coming back to war when Yoha's released, would I risk getting Gian in the progress when getting... I probably won't come back to Wuthering Waves. I don't know. I don't see the point. I just don't enjoy it. It's just shit. I don't know, because like I don't know, because like Look, I don't know. I don't know. I can't answer that question right now. That's all I can say about it. Because I say that, but then because right now, so my brain, I've got a bit of a scatter brain, right? Right now, the only thing I care about is getting this right because it's a lot of work and no one's going to do it for me, and this is going to, you know, I'm going to use this in every Unity game going forward between here and the day that I die, probably, or some version of it. So like this is a big deal to me, right? So I'm really focused on this right now. And so the last thing I give a shit about is a game that I'm not enjoying as it is. Even when I was bored enough to continue playing that game, because I wasn't motivated to do something like this. So my motivation goes like up and down all the time, right? I will burn myself out on this because I always do. And then I'll start playing games again, and maybe I'll get bored enough. It depends what other games there are to play. Maybe at that point, even though I say I won't want to play it again, I'll be like, oh, well, I need something to do. Let's check it out. But I don't know. I can't, you know, this is typically what I tend to do. But I can't tell you about that now because I'm too focused on this. So, yeah, maybe I will, maybe I won't. But I just can't really tell how my brain's going to be at that point because it'll be a different brain to what's in my head right now. The brain that's in my head now is motivated to get some work done, get this fixed, get this done. So thinking about the games that I enjoyed the least, that I've just quit, is the last thing I can answer questions about because right now my mind's saying, no, fuck that game. You've got this to do. The last thing you want to do is start playing that game again. But having said that, 2 months from now or however long it takes, when I'm demotivated and burnt out and I need a break and I'm looking for stuff to do and all I want to do is play games and chill while I recharge, if there aren't enough games to play, then yeah, I might end up going back to it. I don't know, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. That's all I can do is live one day at a time. This is how I live my life. I can't tell you what my future plans are for Wuthering Waves because I'd rather not touch that game ever again because it's never made me happy. It's just dull and miserable. The other reason, there are two reasons I play games. I either play games because I enjoy playing them, or there's enough in there for me to learn from them. If there's something for me to learn from, then sometimes it's worth playing a game just to learn from it. But I feel like there's nothing to learn from Wuthering Waves. I already know what its problems are, and like there's nothing for me to learn in that game, and I'm certainly not enjoying it. So what reason is there for me to play it? Boredom? Yeah, sometimes I do. Sometimes I end up playing games out of sheer boredom. But I can't think about that right now because the last thing I am is bored. I'm the opposite. I'm overwhelmed that I need to get these systems done. And so right now my brain's like, nope, no time for boring ass games that you don't enjoy playing anyway. Let's get this done. But eventually, you know, I burn out and I'm like, oh my god, I can't do this anymore. I need a break. And then who knows what will happen after then, because that's a different me. It's almost like a split personality. It's almost like not the same me that you're talking to now. So who knows what that guy's going to want to do. That guy probably get bored enough to play it again, I don't know. But the me that you're asking right now has no idea what that guy's going to do when he gets bored enough. He probably will go back to the game. But that's just not the me you're talking to now. The me you're talking to now is actually has some motivation and actually wants to get this stuff done. So yeah, when I think about that boring ass game, I just think fuck that game. It's not worth my time, and I haven't got enough time to do what I need to do. We all get bored playing games from time to time, but for some games we eventually return to, like I did for Genshin nearly 2 years later. Yeah, exactly. You probably didn't think you would ever go back to Genshin, but you know, you change, the games change. That's the thing with live service games as well, right? They change. I mean, who knows? Like, you don't have to gotcha me on this stuff. It's just you ask the me now, am I gonna, you know, go back to it and how would I feel about the new characters and blah blah blah. And I just can't answer any of those questions because it's just not the frame of mind or headspace that I'm in. And right now all I think is, God, there's much better games to play. I don't even have time to play the better games right now because I'm busy with this. So, you know, it feels so far away. It's a bit like if you imagine that you had, imagine this, right? Imagine you just eaten. Imagine I invite you to dinner and I said, there you go, Pika. I've cooked 20 meals for you. get down and eat as much as you can, and you struggle, and I'm like, no, eat some more, eat some more, eat some more, and you eat and you eat and you eat, and then you get to the point where you're like, I just can't eat anymore. I'm absolutely full. I actually feel a little bit sick. I've eaten so much. I feel actually a little bit sick. I don't want any more food right now. And I'm like, okay, well, thank you for eating my food. Then imagine if I said to you, what do you want for dinner tomorrow? You would be like, that is the last question I can answer right now. Like, I've just eaten so much food. I feel sick. I'm so full of food. And you're asking me what I want to eat tomorrow. Like, I don't even know if I'll eat tomorrow because I've eaten so much today. Like, you know what I mean? That's the weirdest question to be asked when you've just gorged yourself on so much food. Well, that's kind of like me, right? It's like, I'm so deep in the weeds with this right now that you ask me, what about that boring ass game that you weren't enjoying playing when you were bored? Do you think you'll ever go back to it? And it's like, I can't answer that right now because I'm so deep in the weeds with this. The last thing I can think about is that boring ass game because it's so far away from like where I am right now. I suppose they're like different. They're weird in different ways, I guess. But that's kind of what it feels like. It's like you're asking me what I want for dinner tomorrow when I've just eaten so much food. I couldn't eat another thing. So I just can't. I can't imagine what I might want to eat tomorrow, or if I'll ever want to eat again, because it's just not where, you know, that's not, you're not in the right headspace for it. The last thing you want to do is think about food. So yeah, that would be the best I can do to answer that question. Right, light stick. Oh my god, left stick. I gotta do all these again now. Oh my god, it's just so annoying. I can't believe I've got to do all this again. Right, so that one's PS4 left stick. Okay, this might be where I get to... This might be where I get to fix the mistakes I made before as well. Because the light theme should be from the PS5, I think. Yeah, okay, I'm going to do it the other way around this time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the PS5 controls... Let's make these a bit bigger. I'm going to use the PS5 controls for the light theme, because this is a lighter theme, right? It makes sense. And I'm going to use the PS4 icons for the dark theme. So I've got a right stick, L2. But yeah, as long as you're having fun, that's all that really matters, right? But I don't have to play the same games as you all the time you're playing the games. And you don't need for me to play the same games as you either. It's like, you just play whatever you want. But I get, maybe, you know, I get it. Maybe you just, you know, you like having other people to play these games with. But that's the problem with Wuthering Waves. Wuthering Waves didn't really have that much to do as a co-op team. And it seemed like we were rarely playing the game the same time as each other anyway, you know. By the time you logged on, I'd already done my dailies and vice versa, you know. So it wasn't really a game that we were able to play together anyway, really. D-pad would be that one. Square would be that one. Circle, that one. Oh, that's cross. I did the wrong one. Cross. Circle. Triangle. Let's just shift these this way a little bit so we can get them a bit closer together. Makes it quicker then. Triangle L1. L1 PS5 we want. R1. R1 PS5. Left trigger button. That's PS move. What the fuck? I don't know where left trigger button is. Left trigger is L2, isn't it? That's why. Yeah, it's L2. So we want PS5 L2, PS5 R2, PS5 R2, share, PS5 share, Option is PS5 option. L3. Okay, I think they call it like right stick press or something. PS5. L3 is, yeah, left stick click, they call it. Left stick click. PS5 right stick click, I guess. PS5 right stick click. System is the PlayStation button, but I made separate buttons for these. So we're going to light scheme is this one. Touchpad, light scheme. Mic mute is a mappable button. We do actually have buttons for these. PS5 microphone. There we go. Left stick up. Okay, left. These aren't. Yeah, we wouldn't. These wouldn't come under remap buttons though. Not really, because these control like movement and directions. So I don't think I'm going to allow specific directions of the buttons. These need to only be buttons. So I'm going to remove how do I stop people mapping those? I guess we're going to need a list of controls that should be disabled, I guess. I don't know what left stick X and Y is. Because that sounds like left and right, but there's a separate left and right. Right stick up. X. Y. Down. Left. Right. And then D-pad X and Y, I don't really know what that is. I think these are for reading axes and things. I think that's why. But you wouldn't use them in button remappings necessarily. Okay, so we need PS5 up, down, left, right. So that looks like up to me. Yeah, that's up. PS5. There's down. PS5 left. PS5 right. PS5 right. Okay, now we're on to Xbox, so we finally got PlayStation. Light theme done. Why are these outside of light theme? Okay, they're supposed to be sat in there, that's why. There we go. Okay, now we've got PS5 dark theme. Oh shit, did we lose Xbox? We gotta do Xbox as well. Oh, you fucking twat. Okay, and anything that has a 1 in it needs renaming. Because it means it's a duplicate. Oh, you motherfucker. Yeah, there was no real way around that, because Unity will automatically rename them with these numbers next to them. If these, how does Xbox doesn't have square, cross, circle, triangle? What the fuck? Yeah, that's true. I don't know why it would say that Xbox has those buttons when it doesn't. That's weird. Because they're PlayStation buttons. I'm so confused. But it's X input and not Xbox. So maybe X input does support PlayStation face buttons as separate inputs, depending on, like, I don't know, what mode or scheme or something that it's in. I don't know. That would be interesting to look into, actually. I found a new photo event in Genshin to be interesting and fun to do, even though that event is wrapping up tomorrow with Natlan. Okay, I better do it then. I've been saving it. And that's how busy I've been. I haven't even really played Genshin, to be honest. I logged on and got my anniversary gifts, and that's about it. I need to do that, to be honest. I did the first part when it first came out, and then I I haven't done it since because I've just been too busy. See, these are all PlayStation controls, so I don't really understand why they're repeated for Xbox. That's really weird. I don't know whether I trust them or not. Yeah, I really don't know whether to trust those or not. See, I never really use an Xbox controller as well, so that's the one I'm least familiar with. But like, I know that the face buttons are like X, A, B, X, and Y. So why it would have readable inputs from an X input device mapped as PlayStation named buttons, I couldn't tell you. But according to Unity, they are possibilities, which is weird. So I'm wondering if there's some weird like emulation mode or something that I'm not aware of. I don't know. Yeah, that is weird. Very weird. I've been logging into Genshin daily, doing my commissions, progressing my main story for the new main event for version 5.1 so far. Yeah, I don't. We can't be. Why are you saying we're wrapping up Natlan? We're not wrapping up Natlan, right? Because first of all, right, Kinich has like 2 weeks left on his banner. Then we're getting Lioness Woman, and we're going to get new regions. And there's 2 more tribes, I think, to come out. Or something. I don't know, I'm sure I read that somewhere. Oh. Yeah, we're just getting started with Natlan. I think it might be time to get my Xbox controller out and just try to figure out what is actually mappable out of all of these. I don't know, it's confusing. I don't understand why there are PlayStation named buttons under X inputs. Because they belong to PlayStation, so I don't really know why that would be the case. That's very strange. And Xbox doesn't have a touchpad, or at least it, unless there's a new Xbox that does. Maybe Xbox released a Pro controller or something that has like an emulator built into it or something. I have no idea. This is very confusing. Yeah, these are all inputs that wouldn't be mappable anyway, I don't think. I mean, they would be mappable by Unity, but they shouldn't be mappable by my games. Okay, we finally have the names of the controls as the path name on the hierarchy for Xbox. Now what I'm confused about, so we wouldn't use those. We also wouldn't use any of those. Oh, this gets so confusing. Oh, why am I so tired? If I could just sleep properly, that's why. Oh, this is a problem because I'm just going to get burnt out even quicker than I normally do because I've had the lack of fucking sleep. No, the Natlan part of the photo event is what I meant, not Natlan as a whole. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, I was going to say, like, what? What are you about? I've been climbing up the ladder in both games I play since I'm Union level 69 in EU in one. I just hit Adventure Rank 44 in the other game on the EU server. Well, like I said, your Union level don't mean shit once you've reached the maximum level that unlocks something. I think, do you still have stuff to unlock in Genshin or not? I can't remember. I don't really know. I can't remember what the adventure ranks mean anymore. It's been that long since I had an adventure rank that could go up. So this is kind of weird, right? Because, like, okay, left stick and right stick. So if I was telegraphing to the player, I may well say here, like this kind of thing, right? I may well say to the player, look, left stick moves your character, for instance, right? So I may well say here, left stick moved character, right stick move camera. But the inputs in the input system don't work like that. They're not like a single input like a button press. So if you do a button press or a key press, that's a single digital on-off switch function. The left stick and the right stick are far more complicated than that. They're not just single function inputs that you bind to an action like that, because the way they work is they basically send 4 dimensions of analog readings where you have 2 dimensions in the XY, then you have 2 dimensions in the sorry, 2 dimensions in the X and 2 dimensions in the Y on both sticks. So there's no such thing as stick left even, right? Stick left will be a float value. So it's like, how left is the stick? Is it 10% left, 20% left, 100% left? So that's why they're called analog sticks, right? They're not simple on or off switches like buttons are. So even though these... So you wouldn't be able to map inputs that way, for one thing, nor would I want the player to map these inputs. But the thing that's weird about them is I could see that being useful for retrieving icons to say, okay, move character with left stick, move camera with right stick, But the problem is, the way my system works is it's looking up inputs for specific actions, and you don't assign actions like that. You don't just say, okay, action walk is the left stick, right? And action camera is the right stick. It doesn't work like that. It's way more complicated than that. You would have like camera roll, camera pitch, camera tilt. You would have like turn, character turn or rotate, character move forward, character move backwards. And there is lots of different ways to implement that as well. So if we can't remap them like that, I mean, I guess we could just use it as like an address to pull the icon down. And what I guess I would need to do is create like a function name that assigns itself to a complicated control like that. So like a good, like I was saying, a good example would be move character with the left stick. Like, because when you telegraph it to the player, like that's good enough for the player to understand, right? The player doesn't need to know the intricacies of how a left analog stick works to find it helpful to be told that the left stick moves their character and the right stick controls their camera. Like, they intuitively know how that works, even if they don't understand how it works under the hood. They don't need to. So I'm going to leave those there because I think they're useful for the telegraphing system. But we can't pull those control telegraphs in the usual way. Because the usual way we do it is if we go into our input map. Let's bring our input map up. If we go into our input map, the usual way we do it is we say, okay, we have an action called dodge. We have an action called heavy attack. We have an action called basic attack. So we want to telegraph these to the player, maybe along this bar, for example. You can't do that with the left stick because the left stick's going to be broken down into like a group of actions or whatever. So I'll probably come up with like a naming convention or something for it. I need to like think about that a little bit harder to see how I'm going to make it work. I know in PC games they use WASD, I think, for movement, if I remember correctly. Yeah, they do on keyboard. I'm talking about gamepad. Yeah, you're right that they would use so you would basically, so this is how it works, right? If I go into my input map, so what I would basically do if this was going to be a game, which it will be one day, many games. So for example, I might call it walk forward or move forward, let's say, because it might be walk or sprint depending on a modifier control, right? Like L3 or something like that, or shift is normally the key. So what you would do is you would say move forward, add a new path, and then you would do W on the keyboard, and then you would add, and then you would assign that to the keyboard and mouse scheme, and then you would add a new binding, and you could listen on path, and you would say stick up left stick. So this is why you can't just telegraph to the player, and that would be dual shock gamepads and X input gamepads, for example. So there's like move forward, and then you've got to do the same for left, right, and backwards, right? And then all the camera ones as well. But like that would be stupid to show that to the player, I think, because like all you need to do is group that together and say to the player, here's how you move left stick, right? The player knows that the direction of the stick affects the direction of their character. That's just true of every single fucking video game under the sun. So you don't need to like telegraph that to them. It's just unnecessary. But what that means is I need to find a new way to telegraph inputs to the player based on like complicated groups of functions like that, essentially. So I'll probably come up with like a naming scheme or something. Yeah, I'm just going to delete these because I'm not going to allow stick movement remaps anywhere. Okay, I feel like something went wrong. Yeah, I don't actually see the Xbox input names here at all. These are all PlayStation inputs. Okay, this is really weird. Let me just run it again. Let me check my code. Okay, it's saying the reason why, we can see why here. What it's doing is it's saying current X input controller must not equal null. And basically we're going to go through all the controls in the X input.current controller. Well, that's kind of stupid, because that means I have to have an Xbox controller connected. What if I open my Xbox emulation? Does it find those correctly? Yeah. Okay, so now under Xbox, it's named them properly A, B, X, Y. Left bumper, right bumper. Weird. So I had to actually connect an Xbox controller to the system just to dump those values, which is a bit weird. It's like, what if I didn't have an Xbox controller? Anyway, thankfully I do, so it's fine, I guess. It's just a bit weird. Okay, so I'm gonna paste in my new Xbox with my new Xbox names. Okay, I'm just gonna get rid of that. So we got Xbox D-pad. I'll just do Xbox One. Start. Xbox start. What is the start button on an Xbox controller? Is that one? That one's labeled Windows. Shit, I need to look at the diagram. Let's have a look at the diagram. I can't see that. Yeah, start is on. I assume that's start. And that's like menu or select or something, I think. I don't know, I don't really use Xbox controllers. I thought these would be labelled. Did I pick the right one? What did I pick? The menu. Yes, the other one. It's incorrect. So it's that one. I think it's that one. Select is that one. Left stick press is that one. Right stick press is that one. Left bumper is LB, I think. Yeah, LB. Right bumper is RB. A is A. B. B. X. X. Y. Y. Because I gotta. Left trigger is that one. Right trigger is that one. Left stick. Again, we can use it for icon retrieval, but that's about it. Is that one. Right stick is that one. D-pad X, I have no idea what that is. Getting rid of them. Stick up. We don't allow those. Or that one, 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 or that one. There. So we end with D-pad. A, B, X, Y. Left trigger. Right trigger. Left stick. Right stick. Now I just got the D-pads. D-pad up. Up. D-pad down. Down. D-pad left. See, you're there saying, oh, I want you to make these games run on an Android. Have you seen how hard it is just to do PC and well, this is just PC. I don't even do console. This is just gamepad support for PC, essentially. And you can see how insanely complicated it gets. I don't even get me started with freaking Android and touchscreens. I wouldn't even know where to fucking start. Yeah, I just have no interest in learning that for now, because like this stuff's fucking hard enough. And I would never play a game on an Android device anyway, so yeah, one day maybe. But that day is not today. Okay, so Xbox and PlayStation, we need to duplicate those now and put them in the light theme, in the dark theme rather, and PlayStation changes to PS5. Xbox, I think we just leave it the same, because Xbox doesn't really have a light theme, or a dark theme rather. But left stick, okay, this one should be simply yeah, it should just be the option below each time, which makes life a little bit easier. Wait, that one was PS5. We said it wrong on this one then. What is that? L2. L2 should have been PS4 L2, not PS5 L2. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but I might as well be consistent. PS5 R2. No, wait a minute, because we were doing light theme, weren't we? Oh, fuck. Hang on a minute. Yeah, these should be PS5. These should all be PS5 versions, and these should be PS4 versions. And I've set them to PS5 still. Fuck. Okay, I'm losing my mind. Okay, PS4. Yeah, no, it was the keys where it was just above. I'm being an idiot. So left stick. PS4 left stick. Right stick. So we might as well go back to this view so we can see what we're fucking doing. Okay, so we want PS4 this time. PS4 right stick click, which is that one. No, that's not right stick click. We want PS4 right stick. PS4 right stick. PS4 L2. PS4 L2. PS4 R2. PS4 R2. D2. PS4 D-pad. PS4 square. PS4 cross. PS4 circle. PS4 triangular. Triangulation. PS4 L1. PS4 R1. PS4 R1. Left trigger button. Yeah, they. Yeah, these are buttons that I don't own. You know what? I'm just gonna let them not be mapped. If I don't own the button, if I don't have the button, then I'm not making it so that other people can map the button. Sorry, I think that's Pro Controller only, to be honest. So I can't test it, so there's not much point in adding support for it. Also, if you went out and bought a PS4 Pro Controller, you're a fucking loser. Those things are ridiculous. They're like 120 quid each. They're a rip-off. So I'm doing you a favour by not offering you support for it. Okay, PS4 share, PS4 option, PS4 L3, which is left stick click, PS4 R3, which is right stick click. System, PS4 system is the PlayStation button. So we don't get sued. We didn't put the PlayStation button on it. We just typed SYS. Touchpad PS4 is that one. Mic mute. We don't have a mic, do we? Is that what that is? Is that what that is? Yeah, I think it is. Who the fuck's using that button? Fuck you. You're not using that button. Fuck you. You're a loser if you want to use that button. I don't care. I don't care if you want to use that button. You're not using it in my games. You can go fuck yourself. I mean, you shouldn't be using the PlayStation button either, right? Because on console you can't use that button because that button's reserved for the cross media bar. So unless you're running a jailbroken PS console, you ain't using that button. But I'll allow it on PC. I'll allow it. PS4 left pad. PS4 right pad. And I'm just going to leave the Xbox ones alone because we don't have a light or a dark theme for Xbox, so I'll just leave those ones there. Oh my god, finally we did it. Okay, we need to test it now and make sure it's all working. And if it's not, I'm jumping out the window. Because that was a lot of work for it not to work. Oh my god, I'm jumping out the window! Wait. That's a different error. We forgot to assign something. So we did. Now at the moment we've got icons KBM, icons DSG, icons XIG. I think we're going to change the way that works, you know. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to change the way that works. We're going to do a public transform, and instead what we're going to do is we're going to call them icons light and icons dark. Alright. That is what we're doing. That is what we're doing. Is a what we're doing, eh? Is a what we do. Goo 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 joob. Now, let me see if I can figure out how I was getting to those roots. That's a different fucking script, my lad. Yo, 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 yo. Okay. What are we going to do is we're now going to have a do function. We have a get click icon D. We have a get the click icon dark, and we have a get the click icon light. Is what do we do? So we can request either the dark or the light icon. So if we request the clicker icon for the dark, then what do? Is we say icons the dark dot the transform finder. Alright. And then we say it's 3, isn't it? It's 3. KBM dash 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 forward a slash and a button name. Then we do same thing for the light, and we say icons light transform find. Okay, now we have get action icon. You guessed it, we do not anymore. Now we have a get action icon a light to, and get the action icon dark, and then we just decide which one we want. So set the root for keyboard and mouse is now for keyboard is, and it's which one is this? This one is the light. So we say icons a light dot the transform dot the find, and then we say KBM for keyboard mouse forward slash. Well, that's basically it. That is basically it. Okay, and then you guessed it, for this one this is the same thing, but it is DSG for DualShock Gamepad, and for this one it is XIG for X input gamepad. So we can take this and now we put it here for the dark version. This is the version that Twitter prefer. Everything is very dark and culturally correct. You can have icons dark so we don't get cancelled by Twitter. Yes, And there you go. No cancellation via Twitter. You can have the dark icons. It's fine. You see, we are very diverse in our games. Okay, very nice. Yeah, making games for controller can be quite complicated. I think touchscreen's worse, to be honest. Are you excited for the new Archon quests for Natlan in version 5.1? Not right now, because I don't know anything about them. And they're still a while away, so it's too early for excitement. But yeah, I'll enjoy them. I'll get hyped, you know, when the time is close. Okay, so now where we call the problems, get the click icon light. Get the action icon lighter. Get action icon light. Get action icon light. Okay, it's good, yeah. Get the action icon lighter. Get the action icon lighter. Get the action icon lighter. For now. Alright, let's give it test, eh? But we first have to assign our icons dark and our icons light. So it wants light and dark. Okay. Let's give it test. And then I jump out the window because I'm tired. Oh no, we have problem. Big problem. What is this problem? What is it saying? Job object reference not set for icon light. Line 115. What the fuck? But I told you where it was. What is this problem? What is problem? Line 15. What the hell are you talking about? Line 15 is nothing. Oh, 115. 115. Return texture is child name. It says icon should be at child name E. Capital E. Right. But what is problem with that? There is no problem with this. Oh, I left these in the fucking... Oh, I left the code running, is why. Where is my shit? Oh, we have flooding of things in the... Let me just turn this off. I can't find shit. With all this shit all over my screen. So let us find it now. Where is this? We is in database. Where is my database? I cannot find shit. There it is. Database. You're looking for keyboard mouse. Oh wait. I know why. I forgot to put. I put 2, not 3. Haha. I put 2, not 3. I thought it's 3. So we just need 2. And once again, 2. Wait, we should have had 2 of those. Yes, there it is. 2. You know what? It probably would have been quicker just to make the 2 the 3 in the 3. The amount of fucking 2s I had to change into 3s or 3s into 2s. I don't know. I can't keep track anymore. I'm going fucking insane. Okay, let's see. No problem. Yes, no problem. We in keyboard mouse is no problem. You pick up controller. It is problem. It is problem. I give up. I give up. I quit. I quit. I need some food. What is this problem? What is this problem? Line 115 again. What is this line 115? What is its problem with me? You got a problem with me, line 15? 115? You want to go outside and resolve it like men? You want to get into fight with me? Eh? You just get the fucking child, you stupid man. Icon should be at child name enter. It's fucking there. I see it right now. It's right in front of me. Are you fucking blind? It is right there. Why don't you just go and get it, you stupid man? What is problem with this? This is fine. Okay, I do not understand this thing's problem. It is saying it is a null reference exception on line 115. I do not understand what its problem is. I think we need to know as well the name. The name of set root. Some games are just unplayable on mobile, like GTA and so far, when the controls are very complicated to play with. I don't know. GTA is such an old game now, it just doesn't give a shit, I don't think. They could make a GTA that would play on mobile, no problem. They made GTAs on frickin' PlayStation Portable. So they can make it work on mobile if they wanted. I think they just, I don't know. It's just not the kind of studio that they are. So icon should be at keyboard, mouse. Yes. Child name enter in keyboard and mouse. Yeah, no, that, okay, well that one's working fine, right? That's not a problem. Where it is problem is looking for child name X in nothing. It is in nowhere. It is in nowhere at all. Why are you not looking anywhere for this? What is your problem with me? You look nowhere? What is wrong with you? I give you a list of places to check. Can you ignore it? What the hell? Icon should be in X in nowhere. What the hell? What is this problem? Why do you not look where I tell you? A in nowhere? What the fuck? It is not finding? Oh, no, I see. If you look, it's because the actual object name is not the scheme name. I suddenly turned into fucking Einstein. The object name is like this. You see? If I just looked with my goddamn eyes instead of my goddamn arsehole, then maybe I would find what I was fucking looking for. Alright. Okay, so we got Xbox like this. And Xbox is like this. Okay, now you find it, yes? Now you find it like good boy. And don't make me jump out of the window. Alright, we have the keyboards. Oh my god, and look, it is Xbox controller, just like we said. And look, we still get problem when we bounce around. Okay, well, it's a black box error anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I thought that would fix it, to be honest. I don't know. This problem must be coming from somewhere else. And if we just go into PlayStation controller mode, it should show PlayStation controls. Yep. Yeah, so after all that, we still didn't actually fix the fucking problem of this black box null reference issue, but it's working properly again at least. So that just makes me feel like the last fucking 2 hours I just spent was all for nothing. No, but to be fair, there was like a problem with the discrepancy between which way it was looking for things. I don't know. It'll do for now. Anyway, I need to take a break. That's way too much. How long have we been doing this? 3 hours. Oh my god, what a horrible 3 hours that was. Still, it's got to be done. It'll all be worth it when it's finished. Probably. Hopefully. Alright, I'm going to leave it there. Rockstar has already made GTA for mobile. Yeah, they probably have. But there are old GTA games that I already played on console, which I found more easier to play. Those games with less than the mobile version of those games. Yeah, because it was built as a console game, really. You've got to remember, like, Rockstar Games is a British game developer. I know they have studios around the world, but they come from British, like, they're British born. So here in England, we don't have... We don't really come from mobile games. Like, we started off with fucking ZX Spectrums and Commodore 64s and all this shit. We're very computer orientated. And then, you know, consoles were quite popular over here as well. But mobile phones, people just don't really play phone games over here. I mean, the kids probably do if they don't have computers or whatever, but, like, not really. If that's a very new thing, if so, right? Now, with studios like Hoyo, first of all, Hoyo are a much newer company than Rockstar, and they're from China, and most of the gamers in China are on fucking mobile. The mobile market in China is fucking enormous. It's like 90% of the players are on mobile over there. So if you make a games company in China within the last, you know, how old's Hoyo now? Like 15 plus year old, 20-year old, whatever it is. Yeah, of course they're gonna, like, mobile is probably their number one priority because that's what most of their players are playing on. So it just depends on, like, you know, whatever the most sort of normalized thing is wherever you're from or whatever. Now, I've just never played games on mobile, so I've never really had the desire to develop for mobile. I've pissed around with VR development a little bit, but I haven't touched fucking mobile. Because the whole thing just seems like a nightmare to me. It might not be that bad. I probably will look at it at some point. But it's just... It's the last thing I want to try. Because it's the last thing I can test. You know what I mean? I don't really have a good device to test it on. And I wouldn't even know how to test it. I know they give you weird emulators and stuff in here. So you can actually... And I don't even know how you get stuff on the fucking app stores over there. Can you even do that? I don't think so. I think you need to, like, pay and have things approved. And... You know, I could send you an APK build of a game, but unless your phone's jailbroken, I don't even know if you'd be allowed to install it, would you? Because they try and control, you know, like Microsoft are trying to control everything. They try to control their platforms and, you know, restrict what you can and can't run on your own fucking device. Just so that they control every dollar that goes through it. So yeah, it's not a very friendly platform, and it's one that I don't have a lot of experience with. So it's like, for me, it's the last thing I want to fuck with, really. But at some point, I might, you know, look at it. It depends. Like, if I ever make a successful PC game that would work well on mobile, that's probably the time when I'll, you know, figure out how to port it over to mobile. But before then, it just wouldn't be worth the time and pain, I don't think, to do it. Alright, I'm going to leave it there. Bye. Thank you for watching. Catch you next time.